Diego, great disappointment for everybody, most of all for you.
Yes, big disappointment because it was a very big match. It was the first of the second Six Nations for us. I was waiting this match. It's a long time. In my dreams, this match is here, but rugby is like that. It's the risk.
And of course, a risk that came from other players on the field that damaged your cartilage in your pelvis.
Yes, as you told Nigel, it was a late tackle. That something out of the rules, so that is the more thing that get me nervous, and I hope these things change in the future for all the rugby players.
How are the team going to do without you? I mean, we think back to you when you played Scotland last year, the first game of the tournament, all the excitement. Do you think Italy could do it again?
Yes, could do it again. Nigel, rugby is a sport of a collective sport. It don't depend on one player. The kicker is a bonus in plus. If you're not good, even if you are the best kicker of the world, you cannot never win. So I hope they are young, they are very hungry, and we play at home with this very nice stadium. I am very confident for today.
Well, I wish you well. I hope you get better soon. I wish the team a good performance, and thank you for joining us in sad circumstances.
Thank you, Nigel. Bye-bye.
Well, he seems happy enough about it, but that's the scene now at the Stadio Flaminio, and Dennis Hickey, that is an enormous blow for Italy this afternoon.
It is a huge blow, and a lot of people now will think that the result is just a straightforward one, and that seems to have been the talk all week. Even the lads are saying it here, and I think Ireland should run out easy winners, but we would have said that probably last season when Scotland went over as a team, and then they lost. And there is a huge expectation all of a sudden now on Ireland to go over to Rome and win, and there's a huge contingent of Irish people going over, close to 10,000 apparently, so everyone's expecting a win, and I think that the guys on the team know that there's an added pressure there, and they're trying to keep it very low key, I think, as a result.
And the enduring question mark over Ireland is this age-old problem of consistency. Brilliant performance, for example, out in Paris, the great disappointment of coming so close against South Africa. What sort of Ireland are we going to see this afternoon, do you think? Can you predict?
Well, winning Ireland is what I hope. I think the key will be to take up where we left off against South Africa, and to a lesser extent the way the season went last year. So if we can just build on that, and hopefully, as I say, get a bit more consistency in our results, we'll be happy.
I think Ireland are a little bit like England in some ways, that everybody expects England to win the Grand Slam, and Ireland have reached that stage now. They won 3 games last year. They have to go at the next level. Everybody's saying, is this a good side? Of course it is. I mean, it's got a great captain in Keith Wood. Yourself, I mean, you're injured, but you're obviously hoping for a Lion spot. You've got a Driscoll, the young halfbacks, Stringer and O'Gara. These are guys that should be taking Ireland places, and they will.
Well, as you say, maybe what we're looking for is to move into that next level where we can, keep the level, the amount of wins constant, and as you go up to that next level. One season, I suppose, it's hard to judge where a team, I suppose, is going after one season.
I kind of, we say the game is won up front, and the backs aside by how many. When you look at a front row of Clohessy, Wood, and Hayes, that can take on any side in the world, let alone what's in the Six Nations.
Yeah. I think the problem they have is that with Dennis and O'Driscoll out, there seems to be a shortage of pace in the back line. But and I think it'll be interesting to see how O'Gara and Stringer dictate the game today. If Munster are going well, they're playing with a lot of confidence, and there's a lot of Munster players in there. So it'll be interesting to see. They've got a great start, Italy away, and then France home. So it's a good start for them to build.
And Italy, of course, they had that wonderful start to the championship against Scotland out there in Rome this time last year. They must now convince us that they continue to be worthy of a place in this Six Nations Championship. We're poised for the anthems, but our commentators out in Rome are Philip Matthews and Nigel Starmer-Smith.
Well, the fields of Athenry, I didn't really want to interrupt it. Alongside me, Phil Matthews. What an atmosphere, what a welcome for Ireland here.
Yes, and a touch of Munster on tour again here with 9 players on this Irish side, and the fields of Athenry echoing around the stadium.
Well, we've a bellowing public address system and the introduction of the personalities, Coleman, President of the Irish Rugby Football Union, and as I said, we've 20,000 here for Ireland's first ever visit in the Six Nations Championships. And I think whatever you may think about the relative strengths, you've only got to look back to Scotland's initiation here, similar circumstances, although of course on that occasion Italy did have the hero of the day and of their country in Diego Dominguez, and his withdrawal a very severe blow to their chances. And Philip Matthews, hard to you know, few countries depend so much on one person as Italy have depended on Chico.
That's right, and that is a huge loss to them, but I don't think it's going to significantly alter Ireland's game plan. They're going to have to be very patient here today, because there's no doubt that Italy are going to try and stifle that quick supply of ruck ball that this Ireland side is so dependent on.
Well, Diego's dreams have been dashed in his absence. A huge onus falls on the shoulders of Ramiro Pérez. He comes, incidentally, from the same native town in Argentina as Diego Dominguez, from Cordoba, the same club, La Tablada. He's only just 22. He's had the experience of a few caps in Diego's absence, but clearly is not yet in the same class. They brought in then on the wing Corrado Pilat as a kicker. He's a utility back, but they put him in the wing specifically to kick. 8 of the side remain who beat Scotland here in that opening game of the Six Nations Championship under the captaincy of a very important man in the front row, Alessandro Moscardi, a very powerful front row that Italy have. It's an Ireland side based on Munster, 10 of that province, if you include today's captain Keith Wood, of course, so currently with Harlequins. It's a very good side, and I think they're in for a very good championship, even in the absence today of such talent as Brian O'Driscoll, Eric Miller and Dennis Hickey. Tyrone Howe, Alan Quinlan and David Wallace, who's been in outstanding form, are all new to the Six Nations. The rest, you know the names, the old hands, Classy and Galway, Foley, and those youngsters of class at half-back in Ronan O'Gara and Peter Stringer, and Shane Horgan out there on the wing, a very useful youngster too. The anthems now are being played. Wonderfully played by the central band of the National Military Academy of Italy, and sung, of course, by about 10,000 Irishmen here in support. Fratelli Italia, the Italian national anthem since 1948. Make no mistake, you're with us in an emotional cauldron, and indeed, can't they sing in Italy? A capacity of 24,280 here, and this, the 16th international to be played in the Stadio Flaminio, just on the edge of the Villa Borghese Park in this eternal city, which has been so welcoming to all its rugby visitors to this point. And we await the start then of the 2001 Six Nations Championship, and the message surely which Ireland will have taken on board, Philip Matthews, is they can take nothing for granted today.
Well, absolutely. I'll just have to wipe that tear from my eye as well. That was a very moving Italian national anthem. So God knows what it's going to have done for this Italian side. Ireland, for their part, are going to have to be very patient today. Italy will certainly try and stem that steady supply of possession. I can see Ronan O'Gara and Peter Stringer playing a fairly territorial game, mixing up the running with the kicking as they try to achieve dominance, particularly up front. And Ireland is certainly going to have to start committing numbers to rucks and mauls if they're going to establish the beachhead they need from which to attack.
The band leave the field and we await the start. And, well, is it ominous or not? The referee today is one Jonathan Kaplan from South Africa, who had charge of the first international of the Six Nations last season, in which Italy beat Scotland here. Again, that was against all the odds. I don't expect a repeat performance today, but Italy, well, they were without key men in their last international when they played New Zealand in November, losing in Genoa to the All Blacks 56-19, but they didn't have either Troncon or Dominguez. But as I said, Dominguez has gone, and Ramiro Pez at fly half has a lot on his shoulders today. Troncon is there, a man of 54 international experiences, and I was watching them train yesterday under their New Zealand coach Brad Johnston, and he was putting them through torment. They weren't doing well, but a bad rehearsal can sometimes mean a great first night. Will it be so today? Italy, the Azzurri, of course, are in blue, and Ireland in the emerald green. Welcome to the Six Nations 2001 here in Rome. Hangs high, loose, and scrambled away to touch. A lot of tension, huge excitement around this beautiful arena, smaller than the international stadia at home, but it has a real buzz about it, with the first scrummage then to Italy. Alessandro Troncon had a clash with his coach Brad Johnson, but in his absence Johnson realised he had to bring him back. This is David Dalmaso. His first Six Nations breaks down Ireland's first possession and spun away well. Dempsey up in support. It's there with Stringer. O'Gara goes for the first gap. It closes. Ball knocked on. It was going to be a penalty as Italy had come over the top. No advantage coming.
Well, Ireland fortunate just to gain possession from the turnover there, because Italy shutting their stall out early. I expect them to attack a lot through this young back row and this very talented Dalmaso, who is very, very highly rated. It's certainly going to be a key area to watch in this game.
First line out, that's the halfway line. First safe kick to touch by the man winning his 10th cap and wearing 10, Ronan O'Gara, part of that wonderfully successful Munster outfit. Untidy line out, tied it up by Clarsey. Keith Wood, off he goes. Straight into Dalmaso. Stringer, O'Gara. Up goes the Gary Owen. Underneath is Corrado Pilat on his 22, just outside. He had to play on. Couldn't go for the kick to touch as he took it back inside. There's a penalty for not releasing, and that is well within range.
Well within range, and it was a wonderfully placed Gary Owen, forcing Pilat to take that outside his 22. He couldn't call the mark, He's just outside, we can't see it, just outside his 22. He had to carry that. Couldn't kick it, there were too many Irish goals, and Malcolm O'Kelly up there very early on with Tyrone high. And PILAT just penalised for holding on.
And referee Kaplan just ensuring that the same ball is used. No switch of ball allowed, of course. For the kick at goal, it has to be very observant of the referee, that. Nothing seems to faze this youngster. He really has become a very accomplished out-half. And has done so well with Munster these last 2 seasons, in partnership with his fellow Munster player and the player with whom he came through schools and universities and A representative honours in Ireland, Peter Stringer. 114 points in his first 9 internationals. And Ronan O'Gara now with just 3 minutes on the board has this to give Ireland the lead. Spot on target.
Well, it's wonderfully struck, and it's quite difficult in this stadium. It's hard to appreciate. But those goalposts, the way they're checkered out, the drift, you can just see it, they blend into the crowd. So that was really important that he got off to the winning start, to a good start there, and it's a perfect start for Ireland. Bisected them perfectly.
Watching Ireland, Italy must bring back some happy memories for you, Phil.
Oh, I thought you were never going to mention that, Nigel.
He's too modest. He scored 2 tries in victory against Italy, is that right?
Yeah, just the 2. And on that day, it was a difficult enough day as well, Nigel. Italy were very good at spoiling our flow of possession. I'd certainly expect them to do the same today.
Well, that's an unnerving error on the restart for Italy. Worth recalling that it's far from one-way traffic in the past history of these two playing each other. In the 6 games they played in full internationals, Ireland have won 3 and Italy have won 3. The last 3 encounters being far more convincing for Ireland, but Italy can have a good day or an appalling one. Which is it to be? They drive off the penalty. Low CICERO, the prop. Troncon. Fullback Stoica, Romanian-born fullback and very versatile. Troncon didn't see that one. It's out in his hands and off his boot now. That's a good kick.
Yeah, well, Italy showing that they're not going to be dictated to. They're certainly not intimidated by the form that Ireland have brought into this. This guy's a wonderfully placed kick right in beside Shane Horgan, who was lying out quite flat. Or an Ireland line-out.
Troncon, key part he has to play today. Returned this autumn, having refused to go on the South Pacific tour last summer, hence the clash with Brad Johnston. Captain last season. That now falls to the hooker, Alessandro Moscardi. Good take by Malcolm O'Kelly. 5 metres out from Ireland's line. Stringer waits, just organising his troops, has the ball in his hands. Puts up the Gary Owen, the chase. Rob Henderson was first up, but Italy win it. Troncon up the short side. His players are in front of him. Inside the 22 again. Paz goes for the gap. That's quickly closed. Troncon again, now with Raineri. Some good recycling here by Italy. Troncon off the left foot, looked uncomfortable, didn't he? That's with Horgan. Oh, that's some tackle. Great effort that by CHECCHINATO, the second row. Still not in touch. D.DALLAN off the left wing. Troncon again looks for the short side exploitation. Moscardi, number 7 for Italy, a player to watch out for. Brilliant young flanker. Now the second row, CHECCHINATO. Good phase of play this for Italy, and retaining possession again. Now with Luca Martin, you'll know him from Northampton. This is Troncon, good drive. Up the middle, 10 metres out. Watch for the drop goal chance here. Pez is standing deep, but they roll it up again. Still standing deep, the fly half. Advantage being played. It could be a penalty, and is a penalty to Italy, as Ireland went over the top and killed the ruck.
Well, Ireland with a couple of chances to clear, but from the turnover. Italy getting a lot of continuity into their game so far. And a deserving penalty, it has to be said.
And here, Corrado PILAT. His first kick at goal for Italy, but he's done great work for the Roma club. And the crowd cheering the little rather wayward remote-controlled car that brought on the kicking tee. It seems to be stuck somewhere in the middle of the 22. Head on to the post, left-footed from Benetton Treviso. And there's the equalising score. And well-deserved by Italy, that pressure they put on, rewarded by Pilat's penalty.
Yeah, just the sort of reply Italy needed. They're going to need to still be in this game at half-time. But so far, their ploy of committing to rucks and committing to the tackle has worked well. They've taken Ireland behind the gain line, forced a couple of turnovers and used that to attack.
8 minutes played. He starts, it's hanging well. O'Gara knocked back by Carlo CAIONE. Troncon returns in like kind. Up comes Dempsey. Good run on the counter to the halfway. Stringer, O'Gara find each other so sweetly. Henderson. Pairs is well placed. Hopes it will run over the goal line, and he's in luck. Ramiro Pez.
Well, as Italy touched on, I think we'd love to have seen Rob Henderson put that one outside. That there was a real time for ball in hand. It looked like Shane Horgan might have had a bit of space and a bit of time, and Ireland just maybe rushing things a little bit. Certainly slightly unsettled by a very strong tackling performance by Italy. They're not going to take dummies, they're very committed to the tackle.
Pez with the dropout. O'Gara. Horgan wide, crosses it into Mike Mullins. No Brian O'Driscoll, of course, unluckily injured. Outstanding player, but well served with Mullins and Henderson in midfield. Another Gary Owen, that's up to the skies and down. Troncon. Tactical kick, a bit wayward here. Dempsey, lots of time. Looks for the counter, looks for the switch, dummies to Stringer. Wide to Horgan. Oh, lovely dummy, what a brilliant show of the ball, and Henderson's away. Henderson has Quinlan inside. Quinlan to O'Gara, into the 22. Superb support play. Wonderful, classy touch from Shane Horgan. And it's a penalty in the end as Italy come round offside.
Well, they took the dummy there. That was wonderful play. At the one time that Italy had let them through, Horgan takes it well as beautifully. Look at the awareness there. Rob Henderson outside him. Horgan gave that almost with just shutting his eyes, knew he was there. Henderson pops it back inside. That was a wonderful support play from Alan Quinlan. Ron O'Gara's just taken on the ground, but he's managed to hold on to it against a strong Italian challenge. And in the end, Italy penalised for hands in the ruck.
So a change of boot for David Wallace. He's come into this side, done so well with Munster, hasn't he? A good selection, on real form.
He is, and I think this Munster back row and block, in fact a lot of the key decision makers, those key kind of synergies, if you like, of O'Gara, Stringer, Foley, Stringer are there. So it's really going to be second nature for a lot of the combinations that Ireland have here today.
6 conversions, 6 penalties against Italy last season for O'Gara. This for 6-3 in the lead again. Yeah. He seldom misses.
The confidence of youth, Nigel.
Absolutely. Last season at home at Lansdowne Road, it was 60 points to 13. But of course, home advantage is such a big thing. Albeit Ireland can look to that amazing performance in beating France at Stade de France that really lifted their season to new heights. Fell away against Wales at the very end. Complete contrasting performance. They lead 6-3, then Ireland. 11 and a half minutes gone. Stringer, O'Gara. Oh, great crash ball. Driving up the middle is Henderson again. And Mullins was the man who took it in. There with Henderson. And it's diving in against Italy. And Mullins really timed that challenge so well, didn't
Well, he did, because the Italian defence were very quick. Maybe should have been a little bit more aware of Henderson not just outside him and off camera. But in his attempt to wrong foot his opposition, he's lost his footing. And Italy very nearly grab onto the ball. That's, and holding on. Penalty for holding on. And that was a fair cop.
To give O'Gara a chance with a third penalty.
And Ireland showing that they're keen to open them up fairly early on. They're not going to play this conservative game. If they see the opportunities, they're going to take them.
Yes, I think they need to impose themselves. They've got tremendous talent outside. Very powerful midfield. Real pace in Howe and Horgan on the wings. And huge ability at half-back. Not forgetting Dempsey too, likes to come into the line. So here's O'Gara. Slips on takeoff, but it's on target. No, just right of the upright. Maybe that little loss of footing as he contacted the ball put it off direction. It stays 6-3.
Yeah, it's like that key kind of planted foot just meant he didn't get that purchase, and it was of a high fade just outside the right-hand post.
That should have been taken. I think it was Anthony Foley. Knock on.
Well, yeah, that really should have been taken, because players these days know that they can't be hit in the air, and a number of years ago that was the danger. But they know that you have that extra time now to collect and gather.
Troncon, fullback, Stoica. Neat chip.
And Italy trying to play a territorial game. Troncon we've seen using that chip over the box, trying to get in behind this Ireland back three and gain territorial advantage.
Interesting player, Stoica, full-back today, Bucharest-born, a Romanian, but is now in his 31st international for Italy. Has played for them at wing and centre, as well as today's new position of full-back. Clean possession for Ireland. Stringer whips it away. O'Gara then midfield in support, doing well with Mullins and Henderson again. Oh, Dempsey off target as the tackle came in from Pilat, trying to find Tyrone Howe. The quick throw in is legit. VISSER, South African born, second row for Italy, sets it up. Pez. Useful Gary Owen dropping on Ireland's 22. Dempsey takes it. Stringer, O'Gara. Speed of the pass giving him just enough time for the clearance.
Well, that's a wonderful recovery, because it was a well-placed kick yet again by Italy.
Warren Gatland looks on. Quietly spoken, and worth pointing out, two New Zealand All Blacks coaching these respective sides. Brad Johnston for Italy. Warren Gatland, former All Black hooker. Brad Johnston, prop. It's a good throw. Palmed down by Bergamasco, and up in the line with Stoica again. Whipped away to the left with RAINERI. It's going to be offside against Malcolm O'Kelly, and it's very quickly taken. Off goes Troncon. Oh, good running by DALLAN. Finally caught as Stringer comes back with Dempsey. Troncon's there again. Now with Pez. Pez still going well, and into the pack. VISSER. 6 metres out from Ireland's line. This is good play. Pez. He's got Pilat. The winger collared just out in front of the post. Still with Italy. Good recycling. Stoica didn't risk the pass, so Kelly was on hand to intercept. But still, the Azzurri in possession. Trundling forward, but penalised because he has not released the ball. That was Pilat, the winger, I think. May well have, in fact, Luca Martin is the player singled out, I think, as being responsible. Good phase of play, this.
There's Italy really running at this Irish side and creating quite a few holes. That first up tackling from Ireland could be a little bit sharper. See, another first up tackle broken, the second one broken. just allowing Italy to get in behind this Irish defence and always keep them on the back foot.
From the penalty, the ball in touch about 5 metres beyond Ireland's 22. 17 minutes played. Ireland 6, Italy here. In this wonderful atmosphere as the bench look on. Italy, the newcomers to the Six Nations last season. It's eventually back to Stringer, O'Gara, Mullins whips one long, but it's only possible to take it on the bounce, and in fact his in touch is just too far in front of Horgan and a bit short of him as well.
Well, this pressure defence that Italy are employing is really not giving Ireland time to settle on the ball. And as maybe what I was saying earlier at the top of the game, maybe they need to just vary things a little bit more, have a wee bit more patience and start opening them up first. Taking on the forwards, they've had some success up front by taking on the odd ruck and the odd maul.
And Italy will want to keep this pressure on Ireland. The longer the game goes on, the more likely they are to upset Ireland, to prevent them from getting into any sort of rhythm. But now they drive with classy. Stringer, O'Gara, could be a man over here, but it's a poor pass. Mullins picks it up, but it's all a bit static now. A bit more injection of pace here, though. Good work by Wallace. Almost a turnover, rescued in the end from Stringer. O'Gara Wood takes on his opposite number, Moscardi. I think I confused one bald head for another there. It was actually John Hayes. The big number 3. There's Stringer.
Isn't Italy really trying to disrupt these quick rucks that Ireland so desperately need? And so much of Ireland's success has been off that in the last year. That's John Hayes, John the Bull, taking things on, and again a hand in. Italy coming in from the side, preventing the ball coming back and giving away the penalty.
Hayes is a player who's certainly been making big waves. Not difficult to do, I suppose, when you weigh 20 stone, but extraordinary character. Came to rugby late in life, not till he was 18. Meanwhile, Troncon has run off upfield, and has he lost a boot over the far side? Or is it a mouth guard? Maybe that. So play waits, yeah. The Italian scrum half. Mouth guard's mandatory, of course. Protection of not just teeth, but your jaw as well. Should be worn by all. So the lineouts on the Italian 10-metre line. Stringer. Ronan O'Gara. Another Gary Owens. A very obvious tactic employed here. Well taken by PILAT. Driven on by CHECCHINATO. They're quite happy to take Ireland on up front. That's good. Good driving maul, now laid back well. Troncon. And again, the winger D.DALLAN in. Certainly not intimidated. Pez. Well, flying in like kind. Dempsey underneath. Ball in there somewhere. Troncon, that's a good ball. The chasing man is PILAT. Can he take it? Just released from his grasp. But there's going to be a penalty upfield. The referee looking for advantage. Well, that was so close. And it's going to be a penalty to Italy in any event.
Yeah, as you've got to hand it, it's another wonderfully crafted chip, and very nearly a penalty for Tyrone Howe taking down the man without the ball. There's very little contact with the ball there, and I think Ireland fortunate not to have conceded a penalty closer to their line, and in any case it's probably going to be 3 points.
Yes, he was not in possession of the ball as Tyrone Howe came in. So the man who so nearly scored the try there has the chance to put the scores level again. Regular kicker for Treviso, who play in the European Shield. almost facing his own goal line. In fact, is facing his own goal line. Real round the corner kicker with the left foot. This to level it at 6-all. 22 minutes played. No, stayed out left. Didn't look confident, and you could tell that the body language said just that.
Well, that's going to be a key area today. Italy are going to really mount a significant challenge and capitalise on the territorial possession they've had. They're going to have to take those chances.
Territorially, Italy have done well. In this opening quarter, they've had the better of the play. But key factors of Ireland are still ahead. 2 penalties to 1. TRONCON, Pez. Well, that may have been a drop goal attempt, but it was nowhere near. Ramiro Pez, just 22, came into the Italian side principally in Dominguez's absence as place kicker and had a nightmare against Romania. Missed 6 conversion attempts. The only one they succeeded with was not by him, by Mazzariol. Hence the inclusion of Pilat. There's Diego Chico Dominguez, really almost in tears when I saw him in the dressing room just before the match, and courteously was happy to let us talk to him. But he hoped so much. He's not trained all week and had just prayed really that the cartilage damaged in a late tackle in the Stade Francais game against Pau last Saturday, which I watched, that just put him out. He's just fed up with being a target figure, he says, of late tackles in his French rugby. STOICA took it well, beat the man well. Still going, the full back. It's good work. It's the kind of play that inspires your fellow teammates. VISSER sets it up. TRONCON sets it away to Ramiro Pez. Good tackle by his opposite number, Ronan O'Gara.
But again, Italy profiting from a poor follow-up from that Gary Hall by Tyrone Howe.
And run on the trap penalty with Luca Martin, and they are certainly throwing the gauntlet down here to Ireland. VISSER again with good work. And number 8 converted the second row. Oh, that was a miss by Luca Martin. Advantage to Ireland. The long feed by Stringer to Shane Horgan. Wood, tremendous support. And finally out on the halfway, not Wood.
That was Mike Mullins of it. These bald heads do look like scrum caps, don't they? But it's a wonderful floated pass out to Mike Mullins. Mike Mullins not with the speed to take DALLAN on the outside. That's a good smother tackle. Good smother tackle.
Just the sort of place you expect Keith Wood to end up.
It is, isn't it? The modern day hooker, in particular the modern day Keith Wood.
Well, Italy very nearly conceding breakaway there, but it was Ireland who've been under the pressure. And Luca Martin with a knock-on close in that might well have opened up the gap to the Irish line. Luca Martin plays his club rugby with Northampton, of course. CHECCHINATO won the line-out ball. Italy have possession on the halfway again. TRONCON, Pez. There's full-back STOICA. What a great angle of run. STOICA now with Martin. Back to STOICA. They're deep inside the 22. It could be on here. PILAT to score, surely he must. He's made it. What a try by Italy. Now we've a game on. Brilliant, wonderful handling, but what an injection by fullback Christian STOICA to set the whole thing up.
Yeah, they deserved that. They've been threatening it, and indeed are unfortunate that it didn't happen earlier. STOICA again from fullback made a wonderful entry into the line. It kept that ball alive. Devolve again just kept it alive all the time. A wonderful pass. He had to delay it a bit to ride the tackle, and in the end Pilat was able to go over the line. That's a wonderful, well-deserved try.
Well, what an arrival on the scene for Corrado Pilat in the Six Nations. This was Luca Martin. Did so well to make it available then. STOICA had done a brilliant approach work. He's in there again, drops it over the top to DALLAN. Here is CHECCHINATO used as a decoy, and Corrado Pilat of Treviso not stopped in time by Gervin Dempsey. Wonderful score, and Italy lead 8 points to 6. And we played 26 minutes into this first half.
Well, we were wondering before the game what sort of impact Stoica will be able to have from full-back, because he's much better known and very effective as a centre. But here you can see that Italy are really employing him in a very, very flat role. He's really want to get him up and involved in attack as he would have done from centre.
Well, they're only too happy to play this a few times over. Luca Martin, who joined Northampton from the Bergler club. And it was just good handling and good vision here. That was so cleverly floated, dropped into the hands of D.DALLAN, who feeds on to his Treviso teammate Corrado PILAT, who's having a dream time. A penalty, and then now a try and the lead. Once more we see it. Well, it deserves re-showing. Pez tries the long distance kick, but it's wide of the upright. But who will cope the better now? Italy surely heartened hugely by that. But will Ireland take it in their stride? Pilat is off the field momentarily. He took a knock as he went down and has had his ankle strapped, the try scorer. And that would explain, of course, why Pez took the long distance attempt of the conversion, because it is his left foot too, cruelly, for Pilat that is injured. So he's off the field at the moment, waiting to come back on. But he's their number one strike force with the boot. Chipped through by Mullins. Stoica. Referee's whistle has gone, and Jonathan Kaplan racing across to this near touchline to give a penalty. Is there a bit of a boot going in somewhere? Is the indication? I didn't see it.
Well, the referee's saying is that Italy were killing the ball with the legs. You can just see Peter Clohessy trying to remedy that situation, so to speak. I think we all know what we mean by that. And the penalty has been given to Ireland, which Ronan O'Gara is going to go to touch.
I see we have Ezio Galan standing by to come on as replacement. It looks as though Pilat has had it, and that's cruel. The man who just scored rounded off that brilliant try. And there he goes, heading for the bench. So Ireland now got their danders up. Great work by Mick Galway. Galway 6 metres out. Urgency now about Ireland's effort. They need it. Wallace. Oh, it's untidy. However, Italy are all over the place and they're offside. There's Massimo Giovanelli, the former captain. You just got a glimpse of him, the former captain of Italy. Wonderful player in the back row, who had to retire from the game because he got a very bad eye injury, detached retina, which forced him to retire early. And behind him is Diego Dominguez.
The referee just talking with the Italians and warning them about taking out the supporters and the jumpers' legs at those line. It's very clear, they're not challenging, they're not putting jumpers up in the air to challenge for the throw. They're taking out the supporting players, which was obviously very dangerous to the Irish jumpers, because the danger is they come down head first, and that's what the penalty was given for.
And it's a penalty that could put Ireland back on track. This to regain the lead. Ronan O'Gara. Immaculate. 9 points to 8. We've played just over half an hour of very exciting, competitive Six Nations rugby. You're with us in Rome, where Ireland lead Italy 9 points to 8. But Italy are certainly making a real game of it. Make no mistake.
Yes, Italy making a real game, but largely through Ireland's giving them the platform to do that. There's been a number of turnovers, and Ireland trying to play a lot of their rugby deep in their own half.
Will they settle now? Oh, O'Gara, half through, then slipped. Stringer. This is Wood. Bang. Stringer again. Wallace standing off. Fierce challenge from Troncon and Martin. Italy's speed to the scrum.
And Italy making those tackles well. Ireland are being starved of that quick ball that they need. They're holding Ireland up in the tackle and creating turnovers.
Gatland not looking confident yet, and uneasy as well he might. Italy have the feed to the scrum, halfway line. Chonky, Alessandro Troncon. Kaplan stays aside, just checking the binding. It's falling down here between Classy and Andrea Muraro. Just having words with both. Still Italy to feed. Channeled by MASO, taken by him. Troncon. This is a big number 5, CHECCHINATO. Back to Troncon. Good miss pass. Martin. Did well. Back on his feet. Troncon. Stoica. Pez. RAINERI. Spreading it wide again. Again, it's the big second row getting up out wide. Carlo CHECCHINATO. And the penalty as Ireland go over the top, quickly taken by Troncon. Troncon with a little chip and chase. The front rower there, so too Stringer. It's an awkward bounce. My word. That was, well, heads you win, tails you lose. Real luck of the bounce there, favouring Ireland. And a penalty now, though, as Italy failed to release. Ireland take it quickly, almost before the referee could see it. He couldn't actually, and was brought them back. And the Irish supporters disappointed.
Well, that kick again, Troncon very quick to put the ball to boot and to great effect. This ball bounces right back over Wood and Hayes' head. Nothing they could do about that. And unfortunately, Gervin Dempsey had hung it back a little bit and was in the perfect place, because there was 2-3 Italians just waiting for glory.
Warren Gatland in thoughtful pose. I'd like to see Ireland playing the rugby in the Italian half. They're not finding it easy.
No, they're not finding it easy, but I think they need to just change their tactics a little bit, Nigel, and start using their forwards and mauling. The Italians are much more committed to those rucks and mauls. They're much more, to be honest, they're much more committed to everything, and that's what's made the difference so far.
Well, Mick Galway, captain of Munster, we need a bit of that Munster verve, perhaps now with Classy. Again, it's not very tidy, it's not very cohesive. They're not up front as a unit yet. And they've been penalised. The feeling Alan Quinlan may have been ahead of the ball there. He may have been obstructing.
He may well have been. What Italy are doing at the lineouts is they're really challenging heavily on the ground, and that's dispersing Ireland's lineout. It's disrupting them, and they're finding it difficult then to get back and support each other.
Well, I talked about a weight on Ramiro Pez's shoulders in the absence of Diego Dominguez. I don't expect he was looking forward to being the goal kicker. His last experience was a nightmare against Romania, 0 out of 6 conversions, some from in front of the posts. He's had one shot already, trying to convert the last try, which was nowhere near. But here, the left-footed youngster from Rome club has a chance to give Italy the lead again. Less than 5 minutes of the half to go. Here's Pez. He's hooked it now, the big oohs and ahs, and well, it's cruel luck for him that he has those responsibilities.
It is, and then you can really appreciate how valuable a player like Diego Dominguez is. He would have just slotted those through in his sleep, and Italy would be in effect in the lead.
So, in a way, a further let-off for Ireland. Taken in by CICERO. Won back by John Hayes. Good grappling by the Munster man. O'Gara trying to kick his way downfield. Stoica waits. Charge down, it's good work. This is David Wallace. back row there, and good support. Pass inside from Quinlan, not going to hand, trying to find out Anthony Foley. And Italy come away, huge pass by Tronco. That's a superb pass, but it's not a great kick. Martin meant to find a bounce into touch there. Ireland come back with the counter-attack with Dempsey. Advantage Ireland for the knock-on, the attempted interception, spun away wide to Mullins. First defence, there's no advantage because Ireland knocked on in turn.
Well, that passage of play is indicative of Ireland's afternoon so far. Too many passes going to ground. Ireland just a little bit quick to play this open, expansive game. There's one go to ground, Stringer picks it up, and he does fire it wide. Misses out Horgan, trying to find Mullins lying out in the wing, but really could only reach for it with one hand.
Should have taken that. Rob Dixon talking to Jonathan Kaplan, and it's a warning for Andrea Muraro, the Italian prop. Yellow card for Muraro. He used his boots in the ruck, and Jonathan Kaplan sends Muraro to the sin bin for 10 minutes. Now, how important will that prove to be? Can Ireland exploit the advantage?
And let's not forget they'll carry that advantage into the second half as well, with just under 2 minutes in injury time remaining.
Yes, it's a significant blow. Throws. Fed back by O'Kelly. Now O'Gara. Burst is Henderson. Bursting through. Can he go all the way? It looks like it. Rob Henderson all the way into the corner. What a comeback by Ireland. Rob Henderson, third international try. And my word, Ireland needed that.
Well, I'm absolutely delighted for him because I'm a big fan of Rob Henderson. He's got pace and power. Takes a great line. It's all about the angle, but look at the way he bursts through those two tackles. Uncharacteristic missed tackles there by Italy so far, and has the pace to go on the outside. A slight hint of a dummy, but he's got the pace to go on the outside. Rounds Galon, and he's got the line in his sight saying nobody's stopping him. Stoica comes across vainly, just be coming into picture soon. That's a wonderful score, just what Ireland need. Vindication, I guess, maybe of the running game that they've been trying to play from the start. It was a wonderful flat ball.
And the timing is, well, it couldn't be better. Before half-time, this to lift Ireland. And, well, a clean pair of heels personified by that Henderson run. His first try in the Six Nations. Couldn't have produced it at a better time. Yes, as you say, Philip, that little show of the ball sent Galon gasping. What a kick. The conversion by O'Gara. Now the turn of Ireland supporters to cheer. Rob Henderson winning his 20th cap today. Recalled last season against France on that famous day. So it's 16 points to 8 as we move into injury time at the end of this first half. Will that settle Ireland? They have, of course, the man advantage, remember. Tied it up by Keith Wood. There's a knock-on and accidental offside. Ireland have the put-in on 2 counts.
And we just wait up while Italy bring on a substitute front row player because they're down one man. Flanker's going to have to go, or somebody's going to have to go.
Gianpiero De Carli comes on. Normally a hooker, and did he say the number 8's going off? David Del Maso. So a further disruption. They have to have a specialist front row player, of course, to form the competitive scrummage. Oh, it's a great break again now, this time with David Wallace. He's having a storming game. David Wallace, just short of the Italy 22. Came off an Italian player going back, and that was VISSER. Penalty.
Well, how things can change, and Ireland really showing a bit of killer instinct. Wonderful break again by Wallace. looked like he might have the pace to go all the way, looking for support, and he's well supported by Alan Quinlan. Turns one way, then the other, and it's just brought to ground by STOICA.
Well, a day of triumph for another Irish family, David Wallace, the youngest of 3 brothers who've all been capped by Ireland. And unless you think that's a rare event in Ireland, he is the 11th part of a triumvirate of brothers who've represented Ireland at rugby. And David Wallace has really come on the scene in a big way, just 24. And his good work sets up this chance then to increase the lead. 11 points. O'Gara, such a key advantage with Dominguez not taking part. Ireland with O'Gara, and he has had just one miss, a difficult one too, but now with 4 penalties and a conversion, such a key factor. 19-8, and already 2.5 minutes played of injury time. We start by Ramiro Pez. Mullins upended by Raineri. Ball available and regained by O'Kelly. Stringer. Number 8 is Foley. Taken on the bounce by Mullins. Went forward.
Well, Alan still persisting with trying to move this ball from deep. It's obviously the game plan they've taken into this game. In fairness, it has led to this 19.8 lead, but they are risking the turnovers.
Collapse scrummage. Just watching the replay of that. Of course, the man who came on as replacement did so against Scotland in the opening game last year, and became an instant national hero because he it was who scored the try at the end of the match that made certain Scotland were beaten. Off goes Carlo CAIONE. Troncon now to CARLI. Good work by John Hayes there. He checked the advancing Italian pack. Pez tries the quick break, fed on by STOICA. Now to Luca Martin, 10 metres out. Can they snatch one back before half-time? That would throw things wide open again. Troncon looks for a gap himself. Needed support, no one close on hand. He needed someone on his elbow. A chance with CHECCHINATO though. Will he ground it? Referee looks, it's not given yet. And he's going to ask for the replay.
Well, that first up tackling from Ireland again, just lacking a bit of the vigour that it needs. CHECCHINATO obviously feels he's had it down, but now we'll see. The Tronca throws that dummy, nobody with him, he holds on well.
Well, this, I guess, is what the 4th referee will be looking at. Let's have a look at CHECCHINATO here. Now, does he get any downward pressure on the ball over the line? Yes, I would say he does. I have a feeling that that is going to give a tremendous roar in the Stadio Flaminio with the half-time whistle beckoning. That, I'm sure, was CHECCHINATO in possession. I don't think the ball is lost at any point up to this moment. Do you, Philip?
No, that's got to be a try, Nigel. That's just the reply Italy needed. They're still very much in this game at half-time.
Jonathan Kaplan waits there with Steve Ander, Rob Dixon for the decision. And I think if that is the replay that will have been shown, then what's about to be awarded. Wait for the roar.
Looks like they're going to take time to get this one right. I think there was little doubt. Ronan O'Gara did seem to get there and with his foot, but I think there was downward pressure before he arrived. You don't really see it from this angle.
Well, CHECCHINATO has been a wonderful servant of Italian rugby. He's played 59 internationals, including today. He's scored 13 tries. Is this to be about his proudest moment? Certainly the decision.
Yes, that's try.
It is, isn't it? Well, Warren Gatland. There's the cheer. The try awarded on the stroke of half-time that keeps Italy in the hunt. And that will be a feather in the cap of Paolo CHECCHINATO, his 14th try for Italy, and it was a great riposte. Remember, they're down to 14 men, and they've come back to keep their hopes more than alive at 19 points to 13, with 7 minutes of injury time now past. This surely will be the last play of the first half.
Yeah, seven minutes of injury time, and that's pretty well going to wipe out that 10-minute sin binning, and Italy should be pretty much back to 15 men when they take the field in the second half.
Indeed, that delay takes on an added significance, as you rightly point out. So here is Ramiro Pez. Can he round it off? That's better. That will send them into the dressing rooms in great heart. The half-time whistle goes. Pez on target for the first time. One penalty only prior to today against Canada. But now that try and conversion has put Italy within 4 points. And I would say, not only has it been Italy's proud performance, but Ireland below par, Philip Matthews.
They are below par. They set their stall and wanted to play an open attacking game. It'll be interesting to see whether Warren Gatland changes that policy for the second half.
19 points to 15, Ireland ahead, but not by much. A great second half in store here in Rome. Thanks, Steve. Yeah, I think Dennis Hickey's got it absolutely on the button. Ireland have got to start playing this game in Italy's half. They've struggled to do so the way they've been playing till now. They've got to use that pack of forwards for it.
They have, but this Italy pack of fours are a big, strong, physical pack of fours, and they're really making their weight. They're punching their weight up front from lineouts and rucks and moles, and that's just putting the Irish forwards on the back foot. Makes it very difficult to get any reasonable forward momentum.
Well, at the moment, Italy have only, we've got a bit of a hold-up because Italy have only got 13 players on the field. Already, of course, MURARO sin-binned, and here's Troncon. He's rather important to their cause. He's finally made it. Just about to put his hat on. Jonathan Kaplan, the referee, waits. Of course, this new system whereby doubtful moments can be referred to the fourth official, Ed Morrison, took a little while to determine that it was definitely a try for Italy and CHECCHINATO. So a margin here at Stadio Flaminio of only 4 points. Ireland lead 19 points to 15. O'Gara had a very important 40 minutes ahead. Ireland with high hopes. A remarkably bad record in terms of their first international of the season in the 5 or 6 nations. They've lost their first encounter for the last decade.
Well, I think that's a significant feature. Ronan O'Gara going long from the kick-off. What little breeze there is at Ronan O'Gara's back in this half, and expect to see him to use the kick an awful lot more and try and play this game in Italy's half.
Brad Johnson there with the local berry, looking much the part of the Italian signor. It's Italy's coach. Halfway line still. Set back by Alan Quinlan in his first Six Nations. Wood acting scrum half. O'Gara, the drive by Foley. Not much forward momentum though. It's recycled quickly. Is that a knock-on? No. A lateral? No, he's got his hand raised. The advantage being played, in fact, by Jonathan Kaplan. It was a knock-on by Wood. Troncon leaves it, now gets it back. Straight through to Bergamasco. Not seen so much of him yet. Troncon, Pez, up the middle, Martin. Little kick. Tyrone Howe turns. He covered it, but he had to take the tackle of RAINERI.
And again, the turnover coming from some good work by those Italian forwards, knocking the Irish back off the ball, giving them the opportunity to get that ball back into the Irish half and start attacking. Tyrone Howe takes this well, but he's got his back. He's got his back to play, and there's really not an awful lot he can do but just hold on and make the touchline.
Italy's throw, 10 metres outside Ireland's 22. Early moments of this second half here in Rome. Ireland leading 19-15 if you've just joined us. And Italy still without one forward. Sent off for the sin bin, MURARO. But still winning good possession. RAINERI, the centre. And Ireland turn it over. Good work, Quinlan sets it out. Now with Wallace. Stringer, Wood. Not a bad kick. Stoica across. Oh, the error from the fullback. Advantage playing for Ireland. Foley, O'Gara, good pass. Henderson, he's away again. He's stepped through the tackle of DALLAN, and Henderson with a brace of tries. What a day he's having.
Well, this man is just so powerful and quick into his stride. It came from an Irish turnover, this time reversed. Closey just feeds the ball to Anthony Foley, who fires that wide to Ronan O'Gara, and he's got about 5 or 6 men outside, skips a couple, and Henderson still has to break through a couple of tackles to make the line with 2 men outside him. Good job he made it. And DALLAN just can't quite pull him down. He's just too powerful close to the line, Henderson.
Well, he typifies the upper body strength of so many top-line centres. Here's the conversion, the formality for Ronan O'Gara as Ireland stretch away. That's a perfect start for them to the second half. 26 points now to 15.
Oh yeah, a huge gap opened up. Stoica left in no man's land with 2 men to cover, and the tackling was always going to be stretched to try and take him in.
You made the point, Phil. You're absolutely right. If he hadn't scored it, he might have been in a spot of hot water. But he did. Fair enough. Confident. So Italy, can they come back again? Fed through the legs of Closey, O'Gara. Perhaps Ireland will hit form now. Christian Stoica. Oh, good skill. Lovely play. Oh, he should have got the pass away. Did go forward, yeah.
Yes, he knocked that on, but again, Horgan just given Stoica a little bit too much room to manoeuvre. That first up tackling is going to be key for Ireland. That was a wonderful slide, wasn't it? Yeah, just took him on the outside, a little show, and he was away.
I was going to say, he plays for Narbonne. Came initially here to Italy with Milan 5 years ago, and was captain of Italy during the South Pacific tour last summer, when they played Fiji, Western Samoa. Stringer. Offside. Ireland has to go. Well, you have to stay down till the ball's out at the scrum, basically.
And Anthony Foley just being penalised, I think, for just pulling that ball out of the second row, because the pressure that Italy are putting on this Irish scrum, both in loose and tight situations.
Well, they made a big error there. Italy didn't find touch. Dempsey goes for the long angle cross kick, and it rolls well for him and Ireland. Touch on the halfway line. Ireland's throw, Italy's throw through their captain, Alessandro Moscardi. Became captain this last autumn against Romania and New Zealand. Unmarked at the back, CHECCHINATO lays it back, and the forwards take it on again. That's good work by CICERO. TRONCON almost, so too BERGAMASCO, but it's now with O'Kelly. Stringer, Stoica back there, loves the counter-attack. There's a little bit of a fracas going on upfield, but the players, no, it's not too unpleasant. As Italy come again with CHECCHINATO, halfway line, errors from Italy now. And quite a few by Ireland in handling in the first half. Stringer, sensible, but not really getting the weight on it he'd have liked.
No, he didn't get quite the weight, but that's certainly given the throw to Ireland quite deep in Italy's half. That's what they need to do, take those opportunities to get the ball down into the Italian half.
Bit of attention for the man here in the foreground, number 3, John Hayes, one with the strapped elbow. He's still receiving attention upfield as we look at the replay. Bit of a chapter of errors here. O'Kelly did well. Steve Lander has meanwhile been talking to referee Jonathan Kaplan, and I think play will recommence right over here this near side from where we talk as we watch the replay, and Hayes is getting attention. It's going to be against Ireland and against Peter Clasey and Alessandro Troncon. There, ready to rejoin the battle, is John Hayes. Keith Wood now. So the fighting was observed, the one that we mentioned, observed by Steve Lander. Clasey, you started it, you're penalised. Brad Johnston in touch with his fellow backup team. And here's 3 points on offer for Ramiro Pez then.
3 points on offer, and both Troncon and Clasey are going to have to be on their mettle as well. Yeah, the cornering ability of these tee holders are not what they could be, I guess.
Just to keep Italy well in the hunt. Close. Is it going to stay in? We heard the oohs and the ahs of disappointment. Well, we need not emphasise too much, really, the absence of Diego Dominguez, bearing in mind now that Italy have missed 3 penalties and a conversion. Only 1 miss by O'Gara. It's a key factor. 26-15 to Ireland it stays. Once more, O'Kelly. Sometimes feel a bit alone as a Leinster man in a Munster pack. You include Keith Wood as well, of course. Here's Stoica. Solid enough, but allowing Ireland to advance to Italy's 10-metre line.
Allowing Ireland to advance, and more importantly, Ireland not playing that running game from within their own half. Ronan O'Gara using that win to get territorial advantage and the line out.
Wood's throw, cleanly taken, set up at the back by Alan Quinlan. Oh, miscued totally by Foley. In comes O'Gara, has to take the brunt of the Italian pack on his back, but taking the man without the ball is a penalty against Ireland now. Troncon can't wait. Oof, danger, nearly Henderson. Well, Henderson come back and gets the tackle anyway, otherwise he was in for his hat-trick, a la Brian O'Driscoll. However, there's an offside decision which will give Italy a penalty.
This really is a key period of the game. Italy, whilst they're behind on the scoreboard, really very much still in this game. Ireland need to establish a beachhead and some superiority.
Stoica trying to find touch in the corner, and again, fundamental errors, basic errors, at times letting Italy down. You must make your touch on the penalty. However, Bergamasco, tackled by O'Gara, brave tackle by the fly half. Still Italy, Troncon, good mismove, pass, it's wide, in comes Foley with the tackle, big one, hurt him too. Foley still down as Italy come left. And O'Gara is injured as well. 2 Irish players out of the fray at the moment. And they'll get a chance for some attention now. O'Gara still doubled up in pain, and Foley is the man laid flat there.
Yeah, 2 very courageous tackles, maybe a little bit wide. Just possibly see Foley's tackle. Oh, it's a clash of heads, and
it was.
I guess, but for those scrum caps which these guys are tending to wear these days, it could have been a lot worse.
Yes, big force against a big object, and really did take them head to head, and luckily, as you say, Philip, a crucial period of the game. Chances both ways, but it's the Henderson try that has brought Ireland that lead of 11 points.
Well, let's just see who comes out the better after this delay. That might have just taken a little bit of steam out of Italy.
Terrific character, Anthony Foley. He's come back in such a big way with Ireland in the whole of last season's championship and all of '99 before that, but perhaps was one of the players most unlucky not to have been in the Rugby World Cup. I think he was missed, wasn't he, when you think of those games in Lens with Argentina and so on.
That's right, there's a huge amount of, I mean, one of the spine of Munster players within this side, playing the best rugby of his career at the moment, and certainly got his name down as a regular on this side. Really has secured that position and made it his own.
Well, something for the Irish supporters there to cheer, because Foley's back on his feet and back in the fray. Father, of course, a great Irish international as well, Brendan, won 11 caps, a product of the same scholastic upbringing as Keith Wood at St Munchin's, man of Limerick. Indeed is Wallace just alongside him. Collapse scrummage, far side, Ireland penalised, Troncon makes those 10 metres towards Ireland's 22. Bergamasco, Pez, whips it wide, Martin. And still forcing, is there a knock on close quarters as CHECCHINATO broke? Yeah.
Well, that was an important break for Ireland. CHECCHINATO, just being adjudged to have knocked that one on, doesn't like it himself. But expect Ronan O'Gara now to try and plant this ball in behind STOICA.
Once more, scrummage collapse.
Yes, Ireland really need to hold this scrum together. Looks like John Hayes is under a little bit of pressure against his opposite number, Lo-Kikero.
It's a good front row that Italy have, of course, reconstituted now with CICERO, MOSCARDI, MURARO. Tap penalty, Stringer. Quinlan rolls, makes it available. Scrum half did well. Was he taken late? STOICA, clean catch. Trying to go around the outside. Wood is there to block it. Horgan hangs on. But Italy come with it. Pez. And we've still got Stringer. The late tackle, I thought it was perhaps in the corner of my eye, and he's still down, the Irish scrum half.
Well, it must have been late and high as well, Nigel, because it looks as though it's his head that's the problem.
I don't know who took him down. There was a big boo on this near side. Play was carrying on upfield. Oh, here we go. So, that was, well, it wasn't that late, actually.
No,
hard to tell with the slow-mo.
It's difficult once you've committed yourself to that tackle, and the way the Italians have been playing this game so far, they have committed themselves to everything.
So once more, play is held up for the attention. And Peter Stringer, well, this pairing at halfback has been such a key to the revival of Ireland's fortunes. So much despondency surrounding the team when they were turned over emphatically by England at the start of the last Six Nations, losing 18 points to 50. But huge selection changes, only 5 remained of the side, but then went on to beat Scotland, Italy and France, even in Paris, in succession. So it was a big turning point. I'm glad to see that Stringer's now sitting up, but he's going to carry on, I have a feeling. Good news. Plucky fellas, these scrum halves.
You talk from experience there, Nigel.
You just have to bounce back like a rubber ball. You get healed as much as the ball sometimes. Here we go. STOICA. Oh, well taken. That was quick thinking by D.DALLAN, but well played Dempsey. Sets up the counter-attack here. Something's on. Henderson. Now with Mullins. Howe out wide. Oh, brilliantly round his man. Got round Ranieri. Tyrone Howe. Oh, he's bounced. And that surely is going to be a penalty try, or a try anyway for Henderson. He followed through. The try is given. And Henderson repeats the magic of Brian O'Driscoll. And it's hat-trick Henderson here in Rome. And he can thank Tyrone Howe, who's taken out by Christian Stoica late, and you can see what Ireland supporters think of that.
And again, another committed tackle. Henderson does very well to round the Italian cover again, and goes past Pez as well. Some weak tackling, all arms, puts in the chip. Now is this late? Yeah, it's got to be. He's just shoulder charged him. Well, if we see Rob Henderson following up. Yeah, it's a well-timed pass from Mullins. He's a lot of work to do.
I'll interrupt you for a moment because the referee's just had a word with Stoica, and I think that the saving grace from what Jonathan Kaplan said was that Ireland went on to score the try. He said, oh, but for that, you would certainly have been in the sin bin. But at what good advantage, one has to say, the referee played. One might have expected him to instinctively blow the whistle at that point, but he did well, didn't he?
Yes, he played it well. It's a rather strange decision as well. I mean, an offence is an offence. If it's sin-binable, it's sin-binable, and no matter what the eventual outcome might be.
You're absolutely right, Phil. 31-15. Henderson with a hat-trick. Only 2 tries up until today. O'Gara has actually missed one.
Well, he's missed it, but that's an important fillip for Ireland. They needed. We've talked about this being the key point in the match, and it was so important that they got the points on the board during that period. Now let's see if they can make the most of the advantage psychologically that they have now.
So Rob Henderson more than doubling his try count. This is his 20th cap. He's only had 2 tries up till now against Japan and Argentina. Now in the Six Nations, he's opened his account with 3 in the one game. 3 within 57 minutes. 17 minutes to be played of the second half.
Yeah, they've been doing that all in line-outs and in kick-offs as well. They're working well on the ground, Italy, but just illegally on that occasion.
Carlo CAIONE. So Ireland have begun to stretch away. They've had more than a few nervous minutes to survive, but now I think they've really begun to assert their authority. And referee Jonathan Kaplan is talking to MOSCARDI, Italy's captain, to say there are too many late charges with the shoulder, too many going in with unfair bodily tackles. And we're having a replacement now with number 21 coming on. So here comes Walter POZZEBON. Walter POZZEBON will come on and take, I think, a centre field position. We shall see. CARLI has stayed on. Another earlier replacement. Scrum down, Ireland ball.
This time Ireland taking a leaf out of Italy's book and working hard on the ground, getting a bit of momentum going into that ruck and ultimately getting the turnover. Need to keep that going.
Inside Italy's half, where they need to stay. Ireland missing, of course, Brian O'Driscoll, Dennis Hickey, Eric Miller, amongst others. Now beginning to come to life, I sense. The back row doing well here. Wallace to Foley. Stringer to O'Gara. And the run round on Henderson. With Mullins. Now O'Gara out wide. Just in touch. It'll be called.
And again, Ireland having problems with this Italian scrum. Anthony Foley had to really make that move quickly, or else they were going to concede the turnover. The scrum wheeling 90 degrees. If he hadn't used it quickly, Italy would have won the scrum.
Kaplan must feel a little happier now. They seem to be out of the woods. 31-15 into the last quarter of the match. There'll be some injury time added on, of course. There have been several stoppages, particularly for this man, Stringer. O'Gara did well, man and ball, but whipped it on fast. Henderson. Oh, on the burst. O'Kelly. 15 metres out. Now they're really mounting the pressure on Ireland's line. Henderson again. No way through that time, but he kept possession. Foley takes it on. Stringer, O'Gara, dumped by Pez. Stringer, not much outside, but the swift pass inside is with Wood. Now they can reconstitute the backs. Possession lost, gained again by Foley. Now with Stringer. This time Wallace. Dempsey. Followed by Visser. Out wide is Tyrone Howe, but the ball didn't reach. Here goes John Hayes. Galway. Concerted effort here, mounting pressure after pressure on the Italian line. David Wallace. O'Gara, Foley, still battering up the middle. Then with Quinlan, wide out, unmarked. Horgan a run in. Shane Horgan, 6th try for Ireland. His 3rd against Italy to add to 2 last season as Ireland begin to dominate affairs and show the class that they have.
Well, that was great continuity in the face of some very stiff Italian tackling. They're really stepping up to the mark with these tackles. But Ireland crucially managing to get that ball away quickly, something they were finding difficult to do in the first half, giving Horgan all the time in the space.
It's been a while coming, but from the moment that Henderson got that try in the opening moments of the second half, it looked as though Ireland were back on song, if you like.
Yeah, you can see this ball, no time to spare. This ball is whipped away quickly by Quinlan. That was something that they were really finding difficult to do with the Italian commitment to those rucks. And that's ultimately what created the space. It was a wonderful missed pass.
Wasn't it? O'Gara. Yeah, he's such good vision, because he could see that there was no point going through all the players' hands. The direct pass to Horgan meant he was virtually unopposed. So, the fields of Athenry, need I say, ring round the Stadio Flaminio. O'Gara from wide out, it's curling away past the post, the wrong side. Nevertheless, 36 points to 15 and about 17 minutes to play. And it looks as though a confident Gatland is going to ring some changes here with Andy Ward and Jeremy Davidson. Not bad backup tackle, is it? 56 caps between them. And off goes Mick Galway. And looking across Italy, making changes too, with CAIONE will be replaced by Persico. And I think Quinlan is the other player to have gone off for Ireland in that changeover. So Ward and Davidson on, and Quinlan and Galway are off. Ireland comfortably placed now. Advantage of 21 points, and to think it was only 4 at half-time. In fact, Ireland have taken off Anthony Foley, not Quinlan. So the number 6 stays. Glancing down, it looks as though Emmett Byrne may be coming on as well. I think that's the player warming up on the touchline. He'll come on as a prop forward. It's a free kick meanwhile for Italy. Well, they'll want to prevent the floodgates from opening any further. 21-point advantage though. And Ireland now with players on who'll want to make their impression. They have them put into the scrum.
And David Wallace just getting a pat on the head there for that smother tackle, which ultimately led Italy into a maul situation. They couldn't do anything with it, and the footing goes to Ireland. And the penalty taken quickly by Stringer.
Quinlan over the halfway. Stringer now classy, the claw. The possession lost. Italy on the counter. Bergamasco leaves it, couldn't reach. And driving up the middle is D.DALLAN. Troncon, half tackle. GALON, still with Italy. Pez. Up comes Dempsey. Ireland's 10-metre line. Wallace. Sensible tactic, deep into the Italian 22. It may be unlucky, it may carry the whole way. Well, was that taken over the goal line? Stoica is in trouble anyway. Horgan and Dagara with the pincer tackle on the full-back, who's a bit hesitant. But he somehow managed to win a penalty as he's enveloped on the ground.
Oh yeah, sensible play by Ronan O'Gara, just putting Italy back in that half and saying, okay guys, you go and do something with it. Stoica really unsure about whether he'd brought it back, and I guess didn't want to take any chances.
I'll cut in here because there's a big moment coming up. A first ever cap for Emmett Byrne, the prop forward from St Mary's and Leinster. Well, I say he's on now. He's set to come on, and always a great moment in a player's life. His very first cap, he gets the little taps of congratulation from his teammates. As on also comes Kevin Maggs. And the game restarts. Ireland tap penalty. And I can announce that my fellow commentator, Philip Matthews, has unsurprisingly chosen Rob Henderson man of the match. A day for him to remember, because in a way his efforts have prevented Ireland from having a very difficult second half.
That's right, the Lloyd's TSB man of the match. It took a lot of thought, Nigel. Struggled long and hard with that one, but I think everybody would have no surprise at all. Fabulous performance.
So here goes Quinlan. Stringer, O'Gara, Henderson, quite happy to take the two-man tackle. O'Gara, a little chip through, the path was blocked by Stoica. It's a race still. Italy back just in time, but nearly another one on the scoreboard for Ireland, and it's going to be a penalty anyway because Italy were offside. It did look that way. 10 minutes to play, plus some injury time.
Yeah, it was a nice little take and show. He knew there was nothing else on, man was covered. That was very quick thinking by Ronan O'Gara. He's able just to do the right thing in those type of situations.
And Italy this time have a penalty, and Peter Clohessy has been taken to one side. He's going to be on the bench. A yellow card for 10 minutes.
Yeah, Peter, he should have known that. He was warned earlier on.
Touch of over-enthusiasm, and Kelly's living dangerously too. Feet going all over the place, but it's Clohessy who gets his marching orders. So down to 14. And there, the number 14 is Shane Horgan. Clohessy, the claw.
Well, was Clohessy off, Emmett Byrne on, and John Hayes essentially got two tight heads potentially on the pitch should Ireland have to face a scrum within that 10-minute period.
Well, it does tend to happen in the latter part of games. We've got a whole ring of changes. David Humphreys coming on for Tyrone Howe. So we'll see how they line up. Humphreys looks as though he's playing full-back. We've lost Dempsey, have we, as well? Kevin Maggs, of course, is up there in the centre. They're letting Henderson stay on, I guess, to ensure his celebration. This is Henderson now. He wants another. And it's going to be an Italian penalty. Well, we've had a whole sheaf of changes both sides. I think I can see Giuseppe Lanzi on now as well for Italy. There he is, number 18. His last game was against Ireland a year ago. Scoreline very much more in Ireland's favour then. Just to keep things in perspective, 60 points to 13 at Lansdowne Road. Today, oh, lovely break, Stringer. Taken on now by Davidson. Davidson, who plays for the French club Castres. Stringer again. And they're beginning to revel in this possession now, Ireland. This is with Henderson from O'Gara, enveloped by Lanzi. From Fly Amatoro Calvisano, lovely name for a club. Still Ireland. O'Gara, Horgan almost to Humphreys, and he was on a clear overlap. Humphreys out on the wing, of course, so often the understudy to Ronan O'Gara. Here comes Horgan once more. And down goes Andy Ward. Great run by Wallace. David Wallace flips it on. Now the pack on the rampage in front of the post. O'Kelly, pass. Might have been number 4 for Henderson if it had been clean. Italy desperate straits here, defending manfully.
Well, again, Italy just managing to get a bit of forward momentum into that ruck. They really are putting in a totally committed display right up to the closing stages of this half.
Ireland really have taken the game by the scruff of the neck since half-time. How important that Henderson try was just 2 minutes into the second half. 3 tries now in this second period. And nothing like the threat that they faced when Italy kept coming back from behind.
And Ireland just taking off Alan Quinlan to allow John Hayes back in, and I guess Emmett Byrne, the more versatile of the 2 props on the field, moving across to the loosehead side.
Yes, it would have been hard to take him off so quickly into his first cap appearance. So Quinlan goes to the sideline. If you can keep in touch with all these changes, it's never easy. Ireland, remember, a man adrift with Clarsey off the field. Sinbind, Troncon, bit of space. Stoica, always available to try and create the extra man. Italy come again. Here he is. It's held, Stoica, Troncon. GALON. Looks as though Ireland have turned this one over. Dug out by Stringer, pulled out the way by his own man, Keith Woods, and let me get on with it. Stringer comes back, the ball is loose, taken in by Emmett Byrne, and Troncon and Stringer down again.
Well, now we've both missed out, hoping the video replay will show that, but I must say, no surprise if Stringer was a bit of a targeted man today, because he is key to so much of the performance of this Irish three-quarters. So we see John Hayes coming in just to take the Italians out to that ruck. Stringer retreating. Well, that's got to be a red card, Nigel. I don't see any option there.
Steve Lander talks to Jonathan
Kaplan. Troncon's been warned already.
Troncon's going off, but he must do, surely. Absolutely blatant. There you go. Had to be.
Troncon was warned, but at the same time Crossley was earlier on the half. That's a red card, no option.
That's total indiscipline, and from the man of Troncon's experience, the past captain of Italy last season only, it's just an absurd hot-headedness, maybe frustration, but that's no excuse. And poor old Peter Stringer, he's been in the battles today, and you know, you just cannot have that lack of discipline on the rugby field. It's an element. I was watching Italy train yesterday, and quite disturbing. There is that element to their play, you know, where the training was going badly, and Brad Johnson was getting more than angry, and the players themselves were, and there's an element of hot-headedness that cannot happen on the rugby field. Stringer goes off to be replaced. Wonderful player. He's had such an effective game, but he'll have a more than unpleasant headache tonight, I'm sure. So Brian O'Mara will be on if he's not already. Brian O'Mara is on from Leinster, 24-year-old, and just little comforting pack from Mick Galway to Peter Stringer. Advantage being played to Italy. That was D.DALLAN again. He's had a few good sallies into this game. Now with Lanzi. No CICERO. Well, it can be said to Italy's credit that they've not conceded any further tries for the last 10 minutes, but they've been battling away in their own half virtually the whole of this second period of play. Picked up by VISSER. It's a knock-on, no advantage to Ireland. So Brian O'Mara will be feeding this scrummage to win his 7th cap for his country. He and Tom Tierney, of course, displaced with the advent of Peter Stringer from junior rugby so quickly. Scrummage collapse. Tap penalty, Ireland. O'Mara then takes it. Henderson. And then Kevin Maggs. Henderson again. Humphreys. Henderson loops. Back inside is O'Gara. This is lovely play. But O'Gara is through. That's wonderful. And believe it or not, he scored so many points for Ireland. That is O'Gara's first international try. There's a special smile of celebration.
Well, again, the speed of the presentation of the ball made all the space. Rob Henderson this time to give him a little short ball to David Humphreys. Takes the loop, if you like, gives it back into O'Gara, and it's a wonderful little change of direction. And a well-deserved try.
To make it 21 points to this young fly half. Good interplay, wasn't it, with Rob Henderson having a key part in it. David Humphreys too. And look at Henderson's face, he's cheering already. Look, O'Gara's over. Try number 1 for him for Ireland. And that was tremendous. 21 points to make it 135 in what? 10 internationals, that's going some. For the 23-year-old who came up through the ranks of Presentation College Cork and University College Cork. Powerful rugby nurseries for both he and Peter Stringer. Can he add to it? Conversion just in from touch. Oh, not quite the icing on the cake. But they're over 40 points now. It's become a very much more satisfactory performance from the one that they were confronted by at half-time, when, remember, it was 19 points to 15. I'm just looking down. Filippo Frati has now come on. And we'll confirm now that the Lloyd's TSB man of the match, chosen by Phil Matthews alongside me, is Rob Henderson. And I think that is a very good decision on your part.
Yeah, he's made the most impact on this match and has been key to Ireland really taking dominance of this game. And
so a hat-trick for Henderson. Italy want the final score. Well, Frati is the player who's come on. I'm trying to see who they've taken off someone instead, of course, because well, no, Troncon's gone, so they've taken off someone to replace the man. They had to have a scrum half. Frati wearing number 20 to Pez now. In front of the post. We're into a minute of injury time. They want the last word. Wilhelmus Visser, he's striven well, I must say, with CHECCHINATO earlier before he was displaced by Lanzi. Here comes Pez. Goes himself. Good tackle in from Davidson, the second row replacement. Still they go with D.DALLAN. Right up to the line, just short. Italy. 2 tries already in the match, both in the first half. This would be some consolation. Still held up. Ireland have other ideas. And there's a penalty to Italy in front of the post. Offside by Italy, taken by STOICA. Has a go. Clung to by Henderson. Still with Italy though. Shoots back to the replacement. And that's Lanzi. But Ireland matching force with force. Now with Bergamasco. Still the frustration as Ireland knock them down. Man after man. They're not giving any quarter here. Italy. FRATI, Pez. Well, he's a bit on his own there. However, CARLI can't reach for the line. He's frustratingly inches short. So too VISSER. What a pounding the Irish line is taking. They're on the line now. And referee Kaplan says that was 2 moves. So BERGAMASCO denied, and so too CICERO. 2 movements, but they've got a penalty anyway. Well, CICERO contesting, he thought he was there, but it was 2 movements, he was stopped, then he went again. Last play, perhaps, of the whole encounter. With Filippo Frati, his first Six Nations appearance. Played against New Zealand and Canada, and Troncon was not on the field. Well, he was off after a minute against New Zealand. Oh, it's BERGAMASCO in the end. What? How did he get away? The one that got away, and there's some compensation. Real delight for one of the great up-and-coming players in Italian rugby, Mauro BERGAMASCO, just 21, who gets the last word at least, if not the victory for Italy. 41 points now to 20.
Yeah, it looked like Ireland had effectively stopped any momentum Italy were getting from there, but BERGAMASCO just came right through the middle. Ireland didn't commit enough players to that ruck or to that maul and left a big gap right up the middle, and BERGAMASCO just waltzed through the middle.
For his 3rd try for Italy. His father played for them, Arturo, won a few caps. And they get the kick from Pez as well. And so 41 to 22 certainly has a look of respectability about it.
It has. Ireland will be a little bit disappointed to have conceded the scores that they have, albeit that they have dominated this game. It really got hold of it in the middle of the second half. Did take them a while.
And Pez on target. Well, it's been dealt with probably unceremoniously if he'd missed that one. Classy. In case you've missed it, he's back after his yellow card. O'Gara, they want the final word, Ireland. I don't blame them. Kevin Maggs, good play out to Horgan. Had 1 try already, tackled by DALLAN. Inside is RAINERI. All went forward.
Was Ireland making a couple of very quick replacements here. Frank Sheehan on for Keith Woods, Kevin Maggs coming in for Mike Mullins, as the referee says, there's 1 minute to go.
And everybody is on. 22 aside this game these days. Ireland have used all 7 replacements. So we're just outside the Italian 22. Well, it's been a lively start to the 2001 Six Nations. Italy have not been disgraced, that's for sure. Off goes Frati, particularly that first half performance. BERGAMASCO, the try scorer. And all credit to them, they're not conceding anything. Frati again. Pez. Still the tackles coming in. It's a penalty against Ireland. Offside. Midfield. STOICA. Back inside with Giuseppe Lanzi. Frati waits, nursing his pack. Player from the Palmer club, but Ireland have turned it over. Emmett Byrne making his mark in his debut. Whipped away now by Brian O'Mara. Out wide is Humphreys. Inside him is Kevin Maggs. Well, everyone wants to get in the act a bit now. Frank Sheehan, hooker, replacement for Keith Woods. O'Mara, Henderson. Again O'Mara, O'Gara, Emmett Byrne. Well, all credit, Italy's defence has been very good at times. Certainly not conceding. Big tackles going in. They've a man injured upfield who must be Lanzi. As Ireland come once more. Oh, a chance for Horgan on the bounce. Who's it going to? Ends up with CAIONE. 5 metres only from their own line. STOICA Pears trying to just kick it out of danger. He's not found touch though. Andy Ward. And the Ulster men in the side. Ireland is the entire island that represent them at rugby here on the lovely loop. There's O'Gara. Now with Davidson. Well, we've played 8 minutes now of injury time at the end of this match. Ireland assured of victory. It didn't look that way necessarily at half-time. And in fact, that is the end of it at last. Well, Ireland will celebrate. They can look back with some comfort on the second half performance, but one can't overlook the fact that Italy took them really down to the wire up till half-time. 19:15 it was then. And a memorable day for Rob Henderson. And Philip, after the initial troubles, clearly there was something to comfort Ireland. Well, we're going to go back to the studio as Ireland celebrate an opening game in the championship for more than 10 years, and they win here in the Stadio Flaminio 41-22, and for Henderson a hat-trick for his country.